Are you tired of looking like this after a night on Prizepicks? For the price of that Big Mac combo you chowed down on this week, get access to hundreds of picks. Connect your Discord to WAP with the link in the description and be added straight to the premium Discord. We'll be sending every single Prizepicks slip we place.
Let's get some Prizepicks in today, guys. Last night, I played 6 slips with the Discord, and I got 3 5 out of 6s. These bad beats are getting insane. This is the first one right here. The second one was here, which I actually posted on YouTube for you guys. We'll get into that one in a bit. And then the third one was right here with Franz Wagner. Unbelievable, honestly. It's getting really unfortunate with these 5 out of 6s. But as long as you keep getting 5 out of 6s, once the 6 out of 6s start coming, the profits start rolling in. So this was last night's picks. Jabari Smith cashed on that under easily. Clint Capella, not so easily on that over 12.5. But both of the positive expected value picks hit. Then I went with Shea and Jalen Williams on the over assist and over points. Now, I really like this pick if Josh Giddey was out. Josh Giddey ended up playing and it still ended up hitting. So kind of lucky on that because it's not as good of a pick with Josh Giddey, and I was explaining that throughout the whole video. And then the last stack, which could not hit for us to get us that 6 for 6, was Kyle Kuzma and Denny. Denny only got 2 points. I believe he did not play the fourth quarter. So that was very unfortunate. Kuzma cashed to 3.5 assists pretty easily. I think he had 3 in the first quarter. So that was good, but then he did not cash with him. We'll take the 5 and 1. So as you saw, I only play 6 flexes. I know there's a lot of new viewers. I really appreciate the support recently on the channel. So we're going to be doing another 6 flex today. And basically, they are the most optimal way to play on Prizepicks, 5 and 6 flexes. I explained in this video in the annotations, but if you don't already know that, it's pretty much you have the highest odds of winning. But to keep it simple, the 5 and 6 flexes have the best payout structure in terms of how often you need to win your individual prop legs. Now, again, I explained it in the video in the annotations. I'm not going to get too deep into it because there is some math involved. But if you're interested in that, check it out. So no, I don't play 2 powers at all because Prizepicks is literally robbing you blind on these if you understand the math behind it. They know they're the most popular, which is why they take the most juice or the highest edge on these 2 powers. 5 and 6s, you hit rarer, people go on tilt more often. But if you actually stay consistent and stay behind the math, the 5 and 6 are actually the best. They don't hit every day, but one hit basically pays for 24 misses because you get that 25x on a 6 flex. Those of you who do not play 6 flexes might not understand how hard it actually is to hit 6 flexes. You need to get 6 consecutive picks in a row, of course. But once you hit those, it does feel good. You do get the profits in the long run. And I could kind of show you in a Discord how a typical week might look. You could see on Prizepicks, I track every single day of the Discord units and 2 days profit and then 4 days straight of losses and then 1 hit. So this is basically when you're hitting 25x's. On these 2 days, I'm hitting the 25x's. These is probably a bunch of 5 out of 6s. See, even with 4 negative days and only 3 positive days, you'd still be up 10.7 units using 6 flexes only. 10.7 units essentially means times whatever unit you play. So if I play $100, I'm up $1,070. And it's very similar on these other weeks. This week, we actually hit 3 6 flexes in 1 day. So you could see this was actually a really good week. We only had 3 negative days, so up 56.2 units, which is crazy. But this one, again, 5 negative days. The only profitable days were actually on the Monday and the Saturday, but we're still up 4 units. So you have to understand you go on losing streaks on these 6 flexes, but 1 win cashes all your losses and more. So that is why I only play 6 flexes. Now, the best way I found to actually hit 6 flexes quite often, as I do, as I've shown you in the Discord units tab, is mixing positive expected value picks with stacks. So we all know NFL stacks where you're matching like Mahomes with Kelsey and stuff like that. You could still kind of do it in NBA. It's not as good, I'll tell you right now. But there is some combinations that do work. Like last night, for example, we did Kyle Kuzma with Denny. We're also going to go Kyle Kuzma again today because he's a positive expected value pick. And what that means, positive expected value, is essentially in 5 or 6 flexes, you need to be hitting your picks at about 54% in order to be profitable. Now, this Kyle Kuzma on the over 3.5 assists is one of those props that is a positive expected value pick. I'll show you in props.cash. We have Kyle Kuzma here over 3.5 assists. It has hit 55% of the time this season, and they are playing at home where he has even better splits at 73% time of the season. Now, that's not what makes this a positive expected value pick. What makes it positive EV is the fact that sportsbooks have them all juiced towards that over 3.5. I know these numbers might not mean much to you if you don't have sportsbooks in your state and you've never used a sportsbook, but the higher the minus line, the more likely it is for that side to hit. So the left side is the over, the right side is the under. So minus 135 means he's more likely to go over that 3.5 because essentially means you have to lay down $135 to receive $100 back if you were to bet this on a sportsbook. I'll show you what this actually means in terms of probabilities because I know it doesn't mean much. So minus 135 essentially means 54% chance that Kyle Kuzma goes over and 46% chance that Kyle Kuzma goes under. And this essentially is calculated through the sportsbooks models. I mean, these guys all collectively invest billions of dollars into their sports betting models, and they found that 3.5 is the correct line. And then the juice is towards the over. So that is why we're going with Kyle Kuzma on the over 3.5 assists, along with the data that does support it that he does go over this 55% of the times this season, and they are playing at home where he has better splits. But I would not take this pick even if I saw this and this with the home splits. I still wouldn't take this pick if it was not a positive expected value play in terms of juice. Like if there was juice towards the under, I would take the under because I trust the sportsbook models over anything I could see in the charts. The charts don't matter as much because the sportsbooks calculate even more into that. They're looking at all kinds of, no one really knows what they're looking at, but definitely more than the average person that's in their basement crunching up some numbers on StatsMuse, right? So we have to trust these guys when we're trying to find positive expected value picks on Prizepicks. And notice I didn't say they have a 99% chance, 100% chance of hitting. We're looking for the direction that is more likely to hit. When we're playing pick'em, we're guessing over or under, right? We want to find the direction that is more likely to happen. So don't be mad if this Kyle Kuzma goes under and say, oh, the under was a play. No, I'm telling you right now, objectively, Kyle Kuzma over is the correct play. Whether it hits or not is a completely different thing. But over thousands of picks, when you're thinking this way and you're grabbing things that hit 54% of the time, you're going to see you're going to hit 540 picks rather than 460. And that is a massive difference in long-term profitability. So that's why we're going Kyle Kuzma over 3.5 assists. And as I said, I like to combine these in a stack. So if I'm grabbing Kuzma on the over 3.5 assists, I might be thinking that maybe Kuzma's getting more minutes and he's assisting the ball to someone, right? It could be anyone on this Wizards team, likely in the starting lineup. It could be Jordan Poole, Gafford. Last night we grabbed Denny. Unfortunately, Denny didn't pull off. But what I will go with tonight is Jordan Poole because I have checked these guys' statistics together and Kyle Kuzma has hit with Jordan Poole in the same direction. So either both under or both over 18 out of 28 times this season. So that's a 64% of the time that they're hitting in the same direction. Now I'm grabbing Poole specifically because he's also a positive expected value pick. And I'll explain why it's a bit different from the Kuzma. It's a bit less obvious. So I mean, the main reason is he's set at 22.5 on every single sportsbook except FanDuel and PointsBet. Now PointsBet has slight juice towards the under, but PointsBet is not really a sharp book. General consensus is this line should be set at probably 22 on Prizepicks. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets bumped to 22. There is juice on the under 22.5. But there's also juice on the over 21.5 on FanDuel. So I think 22 or 21.5 is a fair line. Like you see, this is a perfect example of a prop I'm still going to take despite the fact that the chart is saying he has only gone over this 36% of the time because I'm putting my trust in the sportsbooks this time. Now on the home splits, he does look better, and you do have to consider the Wizards are playing at home. Looks better at 5 out of 10 times rather than at 36% across every single game this season. So that's why we're going to stack up Jordan Poole with Kyle Kuzma. And the last thing to check about this Wizards game is a spread. So -7. I do like to check spreads if they're like -10, -11.5. Of course, we know the Wizards team gets blown out quite often, but -7 is sort of a big spread, but it's not big enough to really worry about blowout potential. And of course, blowout potential is going to affect our lines because we're grabbing overs. We don't want Kuzma and Poole to be sitting out in the last quarter. Very unlikely that they're going to go over in that case. So I'm not too concerned about the spread. And the Wizards are at home, so it's good to see there. Now, next, we're going to go over to the Nets game and grab Mikal Bridges on the over 3.5 assists. And for him, we're going to stack him with Cameron Johnson on the over 14.5 points. So similar concept to Kuzma and Poole. It is a good chance that Kuzma gets like 2 assists. Maybe 2 of those assists are going to go to Jordan Poole. Maybe they're for 3, right? So from Kuzma's 2 assists, it's possible that Poole actually gets 6 points. If Kuzma's getting like 6 assists, a good majority of those might be going to Jordan Poole, filling up Jordan Poole's points prop. Same thing with Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. So if Mikal's getting like 4 assists, maybe 2 of those assists are going to Cam Johnson. So that's filling up 4 to 6 points for Cameron Johnson. Pretty simple concept to understand. And of course, also if they're all getting more minutes, they're all getting more minutes together, meaning they're getting more points, assists, whatever it is. So that's why I'm going with Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. The stack is not as strong. It has hit 61% of the times this season. So 14 out of 23 games. And the reason we're going over is here, similar to the other stack we're going with. If we check Mikal Bridges, first of all, he has hit this quite nicely, 17 out of 30 times this season. But there is some slight juice towards the over. -125 here, -125 here, and -120. FanDuel and PointsBet kind of have them at 50-50, but general consensus is juice towards that over. On top of that, they are playing at home, so better splits for Mikal Bridges there. And the spread is set at 4.5, so it should be a tighter game. Lots of minutes for our starters here. Now for Cameron Johnson, very similar concept, except FanDuel actually has juice towards the under, but DraftKings BetMGM has juice towards the over, as well as Caesar's very slight juice. So general consensus seems like that 14.5 is quite fair. 57% of the time this season he has gone over, and then at home his splits actually get a bit worse, but still 54% of the time he has went over. So looking good on that stack on the over Cam Johnson and the over Mikal Bridges. Now we're going to end it off with one last stack. Now this last stack is actually one we took in last night's video, but I'm going the reverse tonight. We're going on Shea on the under 6.5 assists this time, and you can see all this heavy juice towards that under 6.5 on every single sportsbook. He's also only cleared this 44% of the time this season. He did drop 9 assists last night with Jalen Williams, who dropped 21 points, so went in the same direction. And you're going to see we are grabbing Jalen Williams on the under 16.5 points. This time, Giddey should be back in. He did play last night. I did not expect him to play, but Giddey does sort of bring down Shea's usage rate when it comes to getting more assists and stuff. So I'm liking Shea under assist tonight because of the juice on the under 6.5, his overall hit rate, and the only concern is that they are playing at home, but his hit rate doesn't get that much better. And same with Jalen Williams. We're grabbing his under 16.5 points. You can see FanDuel does have him at 17.5, but every other sportsbook has him about 16.5 flat, so I'm not too bothered by taking him at 16.5. Another thing is you can see there's absolutely no difference between 17.5 and his 16.5. You can see the splits are exactly the same. They are playing at home though, where he does perform slightly better, but I'm not too concerned with that. I do think because that juice on Shea under, it's going to be looking real nice on this stack. Under 6.5 assists, and then Jalen Williams on the under 16.5 points. Good luck, everyone. I hope this cashes for you all.